Oh, thank God. Oh, man. I hate fiberglass boats.
All right, vlog time. So I've got a customer. She's been coming to me for years for weird little things, and she paddles this Tahi kayak right here. So these are kayaks made in, where are they made again? Estonia. Yeah, so they're kind of cool because they're like probably the most, don't quote me on this, but they're probably the closest thing to like a traditional Greenlandic kayak that somebody is producing in fiberglass, or in this case, this one appears to be sort of a combination of Kevlar and carbon fiber. The idea being that it's going to be nice and light. It's not that light. It's 42 pounds, which I guess compared to a lot of glass boats is light. Compared to a skin-on-frame boat, not super light. But anyhow, so she has paddled the daylights out of this thing. In fact, this is her second one. She wore the first one out. Now she's worn this one out. And she's looked around to see if someone can help her fix it up, but nobody can do it for a reasonable amount of money. Anyway, she's just like got cracks all running through it, and it's leaking like crazy, I guess. And anyway, these things are like just built a little too much on the light side. So she wants me to build her a skin-on-frame one, and we're going to be incorporating a hatch just like this one in the same spot. We decided to scrap the forward hatch. It's got a skeg down here, and we're going to be putting a skeg in it as well. I'm going to be using the exact same components that they used to build this boat. So I contacted the manufacturer of all that sort of stuff, got him to send me a bunch of that junk. So we're going to be putting that into the new boat. So now I want to do a shout out to Brian Schultz of Falcon Kayaks. He has been super helpful to me over the last few years. Just when we get into the sort of nitty gritty, the nerdy end of building skin-on-frame boats, he's been very helpful to help me figure out problems. And he has very graciously given me access to his website, wherein he has a full skin-on-frame building course for both canoes and different kinds of kayaks. Check it out. I am so incredibly impressed with his site. It is loaded with like an amazing amount of information. A lot of it is free. His kayak prep course is free. He's got stuff on, building and Greenland paddles that's free, and paddling boats. Anyway, check out his YouTube channel, check out his website. And if you want to build a skin-on-frame boat yourself, look no further than what Brian has to offer, because it is dialed in, and frankly, I think it's totally worth the cost. His kayak courses prices like $200 for the online course, and is super detailed. You'll get a fantastic kayak out of it. Absolutely worth every penny. Anyhow, I am just kind of cherry picking tiny little bits of information out of the course myself for the build that I'm doing. Not that I can't produce this using my own methodology, but I've decided to try and use like red cedar for my framework, which I don't usually do. So I'm kind of gleaning Brian's site for little tidbits about, scantling sizes and things like that appropriate to red cedar, which he uses all the time. And just kind of getting a feel for some of his methodology and trying out some of that stuff. So one of the things I stole from Brian's site is this little design for a router jig for cutting angled mortises. So I'm going to be doing mortised deck beams on this kayak. It's a nice little setup here. I'm going to be building this more or less using my own methodology, picking a little bit of Brian's methodology out of there. And of course, then we've got this boat itself, which is giving us some information we're going to use. we're not trying to copy this boat. We're trying to mimic a few elements of it that the customer would like to maintain. Namely, we're going to steal like the gunnel angle off of it and the cross section of it midships, try and reproduce that and do our best to reproduce the shape throughout the whole length of the boat in the new skin on frame boat. However, this thing was not built skin on frame. And so it was built using totally different methodology. And as a result, I can't exactly reproduce it in skin on frame without jumping through a lot of hoops. And the key to skin on frame building for a lot of us is that it is fast. And the moment you're trying to jump through a lot of hoops to make things exactly so a certain way that do not follow the standard traditional methodology, all of a sudden time disappears. So we're trying to avoid that. So one of the things we're going to incorporate into the new boat is this foot brace mechanism. Now, this is a commercial mechanism that I modified for this customer. I don't remember how long ago, probably almost 10 years ago now. So the rails are commercially made, but then all of this stuff is, I manufactured it for her. And the idea here is she wanted a foot brace that could accommodate the full breadth of her foot, right? So she didn't want individual little pads. She didn't like that. She wanted to be able to park her foot anywhere on this surface. And so I had to come up with a way to have a thing like this that could move inside of a boat. And of course, don't forget, these rails aren't set parallel to each other. And so this thing had to be able to adjust in width as it travels from side to side. And so I came up with this little solution where basically this snaps onto this bar with these rubber feet here. See these rubber feet? And then the bar itself is captured onto the pegs over here. And then there's this, of course, doing this one-handed, always tricky. Pop this off. So this, you can yank that out of the boat easily enough. And then these guys are basically just snap on as well. So there's flexibility for these to move back and forth. And basically, these guys, this thing is extendable. So there's a piece of high-density polyethylene, one on each side, and then it's actually connected together with the bungee cord inside. So this little bar can expand out to the widest part here or contract down to the narrower part. And of course, this thing rides in between. So we're just salvaging that right out of this boat. So of course, the challenge for me is going to figure out how to incorporate a hatch into a skin on frame boat, which there's a way to do it. There's a way to do it. And thankfully, my client has decided to abandon doing one on the foredeck, because this would have been really tricky to try and fit into a skin on frame boat right there. And I'm sure I could pull it off, but not without a whole lot of trouble. I got the Catalina Wherry done. It's gone. It's gone down to Los Angeles with its new owner. And you know what? Unfortunately, I wasn't able to even meet the man. I had to be out of town at the time that he was coming in to town. And unfortunately, he just had to pick up the boat off my driveway while I wasn't around and bring it back down there. So that's sad. But we'll get down there at some point and meet him, I'm sure. And after that, I've been sort of knocking out a little coffee table for the cabin back here. For a bunch of years, I kept bees, and so I got all these old hive boxes kicking around. I've been recycling them into all kinds of stuff. So this is just a quick and dirty little coffee table, just for fun. I'm happy with this. This is sort of a quick little build. Nothing fancy going on here, but satisfying. And I've got a whole bunch of different small projects that I want to focus on. And I'm actually, besides this boat, or rather it's that boat over there, the little sticks on the bench are of that boat. I'm back burnering boat building just for a little while because I'm a little burnt out on it. I'll still keep videos coming out, and I've got tons of video in the can to producing boat building videos for all you guys. So don't freak out about that. But in actual reality, the boat building is going to sort of back off for a little while here because I just need to take a breather. If you understand what I mean, if you're involved in doing any one thing a lot, you'll understand how you got to take a break once in a while, and that's where I'm at. Anyhow, so that's it for today. Keeping it real short and simple today, just so you got something to know what's going on. All right, ciao for now. Mark out.